here we have receiving, okay? So this is all our raw material coming into receiving, and it comes in over here, okay? Right near our assembly lines. Why is that a good thing? Okay, who's ever worked in a big warehouse? You work everywhere, girl.
I know.
You're the what is it called? I can't. This. I'll think of it later. Jack of all trades. Yes. Okay. So you work in a big warehouse.
Mm-hmm.
What is it like going from one part of the warehouse to the other part of the warehouse?
It's a long walk.
It's a long walk. Okay. So think about it. If I have my receiving over here, and I have to, and this is all part of my warehouse, and my assembly lines are here, I have to go from here to here in order to get stuff to my assembly lines? That's a long ass way. That's a long way.
We got that on camera.
I know you did. Don't worry, you'll be able to blackmail me later. Okay? All right, so we want to keep our receiving close to our assembly lines, okay? Now, sometimes we might put shipping over here versus over here near receiving. Typically you see one receiving bay and one shipping bay. They're all together. But it may make more sense to actually move the shipping over to this side, because what's happening is the assembly lines are coming out here and they're moving this way, okay? Or they could move this way, depending on how you do it. The idea is when we reduce the amount of time it takes to get from one part of the warehouse to another part of the warehouse, we are being more efficient in what we're doing, okay? So, we're also talking about intermediate strategies. So, let's say our lines go down, we might do batches. So, I'm sorry, I can't remember your name.
Rosie.
Rosie. As Rosie said, with her Thanksgiving dinner, she does it in batches. So she might make some of it the night before. My mom used to cook all the time. What she would do is she'd make stuff 2 weeks ahead of time, she'd freeze it. Okay? So the day of the party, she didn't have to worry about it. All she had to do was maybe the Thanksgiving dinner. The rest of the time, she had all that other stuff already done. So she does it in batches. It doesn't become such a big task. So what might happen is, in the evenings, when these two are back up and running, okay, we only have these two running whatever they're running, we might do some batches in these extra two assembly lines, so that in the morning, when the next shift comes in, they are ahead of themselves. And then they do that all over again, okay? That also might help us with inventory control, okay? We may have certain ingredients or certain parts or certain, cars have certain parts that are similar. So we might manufacture things in batches, because I don't need to start with this one car and complete it to start to finish. I can have pieces of the car and then assemble it all at one time, okay? I can also control the amount of inventory I have or need. Okay, flexibility. Speed with which products are created, ability to customize, ability to modify products for special needs, okay? So, let's look at a special needs case. Let's look at cows. So, who in here is lactose intolerant? Okay. And of course I can't put it. Okay. So, a dairy can work like a production line. you have your cows lined up, okay? And you milk them, and you got a big pot of milk, right? Or whatever the raw product is, okay? Now, what happens for lactose intolerant people? We have to take out the lactate, right? Most people are not lactose intolerant. Let's say this is the amount of people we need to take out for lactose intolerance, okay? So we wouldn't just milk cows for this part only. We're going to milk all the cows at one time for the whole kit and caboodle, and we're going to reserve some of it for those lactose intolerant, and we're going to do a special process here just for the lactose intolerant milk people. Okay? That's flexibility. You could also use flexibility in a lot of other ways. You know, it's easier to perform one task at a time, the same task at a time, than it is easier to perform 3 tasks at the same time. Do we understand that? So, if I am sorting papers, okay, I have 10 pages laid out here. It is easier for me to collate all the papers together and stack them, collate all the papers, until they're gone, and then I'm going to staple them together. If I stop to staple them as I collate, unless I have an automatic stapler, it will take you longer. Why would that be the case? Anybody have an idea? I know. Because you got a rhythm, okay? You got a rhythm when you collate things like that. I'm not saying it works for everything, but it works for most things. Okay. Okay, core positioning strategies. Continuous process is stable. Mass production, large batch. Sporadic is unstable, meaning if I only do something on a, offhand basis, I'm not as stable in my production. I'm not able to gain. Has anybody heard the word economies of scale? Does anybody know what economies of scale are? Okay, so economies of scale are basically the more that I'm able to produce, the less it should cost me to produce them. Okay, so let's look at it this way. Rosie's having dinner. For 16 people, okay?